Hi everyone, welcome to the Living Room channel. Today we have a special panel discussion among a group of friends where we want to really talk about positive friendships versus negative friendships. Hi Marius, hi Charlene.
Hi.
Hi, Charlene.
Hi, Marius.
So, ladies, thanks so much for joining me on this show today. I think it's a very impromptu section. Like we just kind of decided this on Monday. We kind of had a trial run talking about it and decided, hey, it'd be a good subject to talk about on the show. So just want to just really thank you both for taking this time out of your busy schedules to do this on such short notice.
Pleasure.
Most welcome, no problem.
And would you like to just share a little bit about, both yourself? Like, Marius, you want to go first?
Okay, sure. I'm a working mom, busy, and one is 9. So busy as a working mom can be, but I do take time to enrich myself, quiet down myself, spend a little bit more time on myself, mentally, physically as well. Yeah, so I have a very supportive husband, loves me as a dear, but sometimes torture me as a prisoner because he keep asking me what's for dinner, what's for lunch, what are we going to eat next. So it's like, but I'm blessed. I'm still very thankful and very grateful. Yeah.
How about you, Charlene?
Hi, I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been staying at home with my kids for, I think, 10 over years. Yeah, so I have 3 kids. My oldest is 15, second is 9, youngest is 5. Married to the same husband for, I think, 18 years. With numbers. I'm so bad with numbers, but we've known each other for, I think, almost 21 years.
I love the fact that both of y'all are so young, so energetic with, the children, and, it's not easy, right? Even if you're a homemaker, right, Charlene, I think it's not easy because, you have your own time that you want to keep. You want to have your own personal space. You have the children, you have your husband, you have to do the cooking. And I think for women, right, besides our own family, we also have a part to play of like making sure like both parts of our extended families are taken care of too.
Yeah, that's true. My mother-in-law stays with us, so although she's mobile and can take care of herself, but age is catching up, so it's a lot more work on that end now. So when Singapore talks about a sandwich generation, yeah, I'm there right smack in the middle.
Right. How did you ladies get to know each other?
I think Marius can tell the story better.
I will share. Okay, we were just talking about this morning how our daughters met. Actually, we are from the same church. I do not know Charlene. We got to know each other through our daughters, who is now 9 years old. They knew each other back in while they are 6. I think 5 and 6 years old. So they also go to the same children ministry. So they are best friends actually in the children ministry. And through that, we whenever we pick them up after church service, we kind of like smile, do the natural way of greetings each other. And when it goes like want to hang out with each other after service, we decided to go for lunch, and that's where we get to know each other. We knew, our friendship just developed from there. Yeah, as much as our girls' friendship blossomed as well. So we appreciate each other, and we also kind of like cross-teach each other in terms of parenting, in terms of the patience running dry, coming from left and right and things like that. So I think it's a very good, it's definitely a very enriching and very, it's a very enriching friendship that we have built so far, considering that we all have our differences, but it's our goals that bring us together, lah. You know?
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I think our friendship became stronger and stronger every Sunday after our girls relentlessly begged us to have lunch together. Yeah, relentlessly begged us to have lunch together. So I think after every Sunday, our two families end up having lunch together week after week.
These girls are so amazing. I mean, of course, I know Marius for a very long time, and I've seen the girls grow up. And for Charlene, I've met the youngest, the smallest one. Is it the smallest one? Nicole?
Nicole is number two.
And the number two, okay. So I met Nicole as well, and I think and it's so great, right? That they start the thing about I think the beauty about it, right? When we are young, as young girls, like seeing both your daughters, Nicole and Grace, when they reconnect, right? Nothing, there's no boundaries, you know. They just feel like, oh, very comfortable. It's just a matter of I like you and you like me. There's no difference. There's nothing to prevent them from playing together, and they make it like, you know, even if they can't have lunch on their own, they feel like, no, I think I need to get my parents involved. Like, we want to have lunch, we want to spend time together. But as you grow up, right, as you mature into a teenager, as you mature into an adult, a working adult, you find that you have less and less of these friendships. For myself, I think personally, I don't really have I think Marius will be one of my longest time friend. And we were colleagues when we started off, and then we grew to become very good friends over the years, like so many years. And I think one of the reasons why there was this foundation was because I think there was also trust. There was a lot of trust. There was a lot of like, being able to open up to each other. I think maybe because we are very different. I think we have very different interests as well. Like, she is a super sporty woman. I remember she came and visited me for lunch one of the days, and she came on her biking gear. And I looked at her and said, you know, I love you, and you're one of my greatest good friends, right? But I would never go biking with you. I would cheer you on from the roadside or something, but I'm not going biking with you. What do you ladies feel like, why do you think that sometimes friendships get kind of disconnected, or it gets lost along the way?
Who want to start? Marius, you want to share first?
Okay, I don't have many friends, so-called. Yeah, I mean, earlier this afternoon I was also reflecting on myself. It's that hey, what was my childhood like? How many friends do I have when I was growing up? And literally, I mean, not sure whether is it a memory failing me or whatever. I think the impact isn't there, for me to remember deep of how who are my friends were, as I was growing up. So I think I would like to share more on how I recognize myself and redevelop myself as a person to reach out to people that I know from working environment, or be it in church. So I think as I grew older, I start to learn that friends are not that important as in like, oh, I must have how many friends, like, our girls saying that, yeah, I don't have friends, I need to have 100 friends or whatever. But I don't even need 10 friends. I just need to have like a few friends. I mean, maybe my fingers can tell. I don't need more than 5. So maybe just 5 close friends, which I can spend some time with. Because I realized that as I have many friends in my list or in my Facebook list, I realized that I don't have that many time to really invest in all these friends that I have. I mean, I do not know how to strike a balance in terms of giving out love, giving out friendship. But I rather spend more time on just a few friends and invest my time, truly understand them, truly to hear their heart. Sometimes hear their ranting or hear their sharing. I think to me that's good enough.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, Marius. Growing up, I think I should say, yeah. I mean, I was in an all girls school when I was in primary school, so I think the competition between ladies started very, very young. And also the fact that I was a very competitive person in school. So I played a lot of sports, a lot of stuff like that, a lot of sports. So naturally, I'm competitive. When I came to secondary school, it was a little bit more mellowed. The competition was still there, but a different kind of competition was because I was in a co-ed school. So there are girls vying for boys and all these BGR started and things like that. So I always thought of myself as being a little bit awkward person. I wasn't the smartest in class. I wasn't the prettiest in class. So it that kind of affected my self-esteem. And when I hit puberty, the acne problem developed, and that kind of shut me down even more. So the openness to build friends, to have girlfriends, was very small. I mean, I was, a bit shy, to come to think of it. So I didn't really have a lot of friends to grow up with. In church-wise, I grew up in church. Okay, my background is I've been a Christian since I was 7 years old. So I literally grew up in church. I was in kids' church. I was in youth. I served back home in my hometown in GB, not from Singapore. So we were a small church. Everyone knew each other. So the smaller the church, the more people talk. So as you started, as we grew up, teenagers, youth, you have a lot of people. You think a lot of people are talking about you, but it's actually probably just your own imagination. That was that time. I'm the oldest in my family. I have 2 younger siblings. So to me, it was a lot of pressure. Pressure to do well, to behave well, to act well, and all these kind of things. So there was a lot of stress, so that I was good friend material anyway, so I a lot of my growing up years, I was just shut out. I'll just be myself. I'm quite a loner, very introvert. If you don't talk to me, I won't talk to you. So I'm that kind of person. So very hard to make friends that way. When I came to poly, that was the first time that I was away from my family, away from church, away from my usual circle of friends. And then I realized I had to make a whole new different set of friends. To me, as a person, it was very tiring. I would rather be like a hi-bye kind of person. I like you, sure, let's, study together, let's do this. But after poly, I hardly kept in touch with my bunch of friends. So it was not that time where I would invest in solid friendships. Yeah, so years went by. I think when I started attending the church in Singapore, New Creation Church, I had opportunities to form solid friendship with some women from the mothers group, serving there and things like that. And as time goes by, you have kids, you have life seasons change and things like that. Although we have technology these days, we can still keep in touch through WhatsApp and stuff like that. But the honest truth is, like, somebody can text you at 2 p.m. and you can only see the text like late at night and then reply the next day kind of thing. So that's pretty normal when we have kids and stuff. So our friendship kind of like grew apart with some of the moms that I've made friends with. So I guess after some time, I felt like, I don't know, to me, suddenly I realized, maybe this is my life. Maybe I'm just meant to be just me. So I just, you go to church, come back, go to church, come back. So when our girls made that bond first and kind of like forced our 2 families to, meet and get acquainted, and I was on a bit of a guarded feeling when it came to Marius. I think like, maybe she will just be another acquaintance, maybe we will not be so close. So all these things did come to my mind. But as years went past, I kind of realized that Marius and I had similarities when it came to our husbands. So the good thing was I liked her a lot because she is absolutely non-judgmental. She would just listen, and she would nod her head occasionally. She would agree with me occasionally, because I'm so glad that, you know, God has really put her in my life, that I'm able to share freely. And yeah, I'm actually very confident around her. I don't feel shy. I know that, you know, what we talk about stays between the both of us. Yeah, so that's pretty much in a nutshell how I view friendship right now.
So nice. And I think it's really true. I mean, like, even for Marius, right? Like, she might not, like, when I first met her, I got intimidated myself, because I was like thinking, like, she has this stern look, right? And she has like this no nonsense kind of approach, just says it as it is. But you know, when I got to know her and I began to like really build my friendship around her, right? I just kind of I just love the fact that she never leaves me out. She will always watch out for me. She's always been there for me. And like what you say, right? Things that I talk to her about, right, never goes out anywhere. Like, you know, it's just between us. And it's so important, because I think for women, right, we have I think for us, we're just creatures that are not meant to be alone. I don't think we will blossom alone. Like, yeah, we do have issues where sometimes we are introverts, because I think it's like we cannot fit in. And I understand really where you're coming from, Charlene, because I think growing up, right, girls can be very cruel to each other, especially if you don't look the same way. If you don't wear clothes like what they do, you don't follow their fashion sense, or maybe you're just different from how they are.
Yeah,
You know,
pressure. You know, it's peer pressure.
it's peer pressure. And because of that, sometimes as we grow up into our adulthood, we are very weary of women around us. Even for me, right, I never wanted to work with women bosses for the longest time, because of this wrong belief that, you know, this it's not going to be easy to work for them, because that's what I heard from others. But the moment I started having my first woman boss, right, things changed. It changed, and I subsequently began to look for women bosses and good, strong leaders to work for. And I think it's because, like, you know, there's this thing that they can nurture you. A very strong woman can nurture you, can bring out the best qualities in you. They celebrate you. And I think that's why we really have to see, like, you know, how good these friendships are, how they've built us up over the years. And sometimes when you find it so hard to relate, because I think for women, we place expectations on others, because we are a certain way, we behave in a certain way, and we expect our friends to do that. And when they don't do that, and when they don't respond in that same manner, we feel like, okay, that's it. Like, you know, I don't think this we're gonna. And I think it's insecurities. It's the insecurities we have. Like, I mean, do y'all want to share a little bit about like what you think, like some insecurities that keeps you all from venturing out to make new friends?
Foundation of having insecurity in the first place comes a lot from our childhood growing up. When you have, to me, I personally feel is when you have people around you, your family, your parents, your siblings, who they may not mean what they say, but sometimes, you know, out of the fit of anger or something, they'll call names, or, you know, talk you down and things like that. I think all those things really stick to you. So as you grow up, right, those words chip away, and it kind of forms insecurities in you. If you keep on hearing that, you keep on believing it, it kind of sticks to you, and it will carry through your teenage years, young adulthood, and things like that. I think the important thing is, for me as a mom, to always be mindful of what I'm talking about, what I'm saying, how I'm talking to my girls, especially my girls. I have 2 girls, so I'm always have to be mindful of, you know, the things that I say around them and things like that. Even if I say it out of anger, I will have to calm down and tell them, I'm sorry. I didn't mean what I say, and you are definitely not what I said. You know, you are God's child and things like that. I mean, try to help them heal back again as quickly as possible. Otherwise, they'll always have that mentality in their head that, oh, you know, mommy says this about me, and so this is the way I am. and they will always carry that as they grow up. And it doesn't help, I mean, when they go into secondary school where there's a lot more competition, a lot more peer pressure, tertiary education, and when they step into the workforce, they have all this pressure from older people, more senior people, and they have, they want people to accept them, they want people to like them. So all these insecurities can play as a defense mechanism kind of thing, so I think very important is to actually help them to have their own identity now, to know who they are. They are not everything that is negative that has been said about them and things like even the times when they do feel that way, that it is not true about themselves. Especially for my 15-year-old, sometimes she can come and tell me, that she feels a certain way, she doesn't feel liked and things like that. So the only thing I can tell her is, you know what, you are still growing. Your circle of friends are going to either decrease or increase. They are going to change. You're going to meet new people. So this is not who you are now, So yeah, I think to help our girls identify their true identity and their strong points now is so important for them in the future.
And that's really very good that what you have actually shared. It's really about creating that identity because we have experienced it ourselves. So we know what are the things that we can look out for in our own kids. Like for yourself, right, Marius, how do you create an identity for your girls? How do you affirm them?
Okay, let's talk about Gloria. So Gloria, she's 20 now. So as she was growing up, we are also church-going background, rooted ourselves in church, getting ourselves involved in church and all that. So let's take an example of Gloria when she was 3 years ago. So when she was in there, right, for the youth, the youth, about I think 15, 16 years old, like Kayla. So I think she has two very good friends. They hang out in church, and they talk. They share among each other and things like that. So out of two friends, right, one is on more on BGR issue, and the other one is more on dress up issue. So they have different identity among the three of them. So of course I know how my daughter behaves. And when she shared with me about the one on the left that is more on BGR, which she finds that she's not so into it. So she started asking me, is that why is this person so into BGR, whereas I'm not, and the other one who's more on dress up and I'm not. So I kind of like share with her that she's also discovering herself, her identity, who she really is, how she really dress up, how she portray herself in front of her friends, how she behave herself in front of her friends and in church. So it's kind of like trying to make her understand how she can develop herself as an individual. I mean, we are all growing up year after year, and to be honest, me being a mother right now with two girls, I'm also developing myself as a mother. I may have two girls. I may have experienced two deliveries, two newborns to now and 20 and 19. But I find that I'm still discovering myself as an individual. As an individual, as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter. I also tend to educate myself more in terms of like how I should behave as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife. It's like as we get older, right? Our mentality, our mindset, our attitude towards things in general and in our family, it's very different as well. It will be different. I mean, for me, I find that I mellow a lot. Last time I was very quick-tempered, very easily fired, and I also have an instant fire extinguisher on my left hand. Left is a fire, very easily flare up. Right is my extinguisher. once I flare, I have my extinguisher on my right. I can just, spray myself on, and next moment I'm more cool and calm. So as I get to know myself a lot better, I also know how to tackle and how to talk to Gloria on how to channel herself to really see herself who she really is. Because I know that at 15, 16, and 17 years old, they are also, trying to search for their identity, who they really are. I mean, their body is really growing. That's one thing that they have to tackle. Then they have to understand why my friend doesn't like me, why my friend doesn't want to hang out with me, and things like that. So as much as they are also facing how to be a daughter to me, how to be a friend to her, to her peers, and how to behave herself in school. So all this I also have to empathy and how to really see from her point of view and how to direct her into becoming who she is right now. I mean, she may be 20 right now, but her mindset is not 20. She's also developing herself well as an adult. Her vocal can be adult. Now I have three adults. Last time was just two adults, the parents. But right now, adding Gloria in, she is another voice that we have to hear. Yeah, correct. So yeah, it's a struggle for them as much as for me, trying to navigate them into different channels, different stages of their life as well. So just like Grace, but am I going to use the same method as I use on Gloria on Grace? I'm not sure. I mean, I will have to revisit this when Grace turns 20.
For instance, yeah, because both of them are very different in terms of personality and character. Important, like we don't live our lives in social media. Like social media is it's a tool that we use to share. We use to like keep in touch. We can use it as even like a kind of a blog to remind us of the good times that we have. But it doesn't mean that you have to live your life just by social media alone. I don't think we didn't grow up that way last time. There wasn't any social media at all. But I think we grew up just. Do you have like any practical advice or any books that, like Charlene, you're a reader, like anything that you would like to recommend to maybe women or even like young girls, like, teenage girls, for example?
Oh, wow. I'm not sure if girls these days like to read because they spend their years in their nose buried in textbooks. I think the last thing they want to do is read another book. But I think watching TED Talks, I think TED Talks are really good. There are so many out there that talks about how to overcome insecurities, empowering women and things like that. And also listen to podcasts, I think, because kids these days are always on their phones, right? So why not get their parents to, subscribe good podcasts for them to listen to and things like that. I think that's very important. For adults, I think if you do have the love for reading, I have been a reader since I was very young. I never stopped reading. The only time I think I couldn't read was the few years when I had my kids. There was like no time at all to read. I just wanted to sleep. So now that my 5-year-old is pretty much independent, semi-independent, I have a lot more time. I think one of the few books that really changed my life was, I've already sent you some of the details. Maybe you can post it up later.
You can post it up. One of it was,
so one of it was Free of Me. Free of Me changed my whole perception. Okay, I only read Free of Me a few years ago. So imagine, I will not reveal my age, but a few years ago, meaning I was struggling with myself. I was struggling with my own identity still. This was just after I gave birth to my youngest. Being a stay-at-home mom for so long, I nearly lost it. I honestly didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know my purpose. I know I was a mom. I know my duty was to take care of the kids, to nurture them, to be a good wife and things like that. But I completely lost my own identity. Like, who is Charlene? I don't know who is Charlene anymore. So that book kind of like brought me back to the center to to find out who I am, free of me, just to know that, hey, a lot of things are going on in this world or around me is really not because of me, doesn't evolve around me, that God has a bigger purpose, and it's just taking time to find out what suits me, what I like, and to live the life that I want to live. Sometimes we get so caught up with our kids, with our husband, with housework, with work, with meeting deadlines and stuff like that, that we completely miss out the part of being being yourself. So that was a good book. And Tailormade was the other one that I read. Tailormade was also a good book in finding out your identity. The last book I want to recommend to everybody and anybody. My 15-year-old can't wait to read that book. So it's basically a book that talks about how to understand people's different personalities. Sometimes when we communicate, right, we are taught to communicate properly so that people can listen. But sometimes we need to put ourselves in the person's shoes to understand how they are, how they are receiving our whatever we are saying. So when I read that book, it opened my mind a lot. It helped me communicate better with my husband and also with my kids. So I'm like a strong personality, and so by understanding that sometimes they are not, it helped me to kind of change the way I say things, the way I think. I'm the kind of person who I wants everything done fast. Like, if you say something, you better get it done. Don't just talk about it. Don't just make plans, but get it done. So just the 3 books that I shared with New Siobhan really changed my life. Very good.
I love it because I think it's so dear to my heart and it's so close to my heart because I think even for myself, I'm actually in the midst of like writing my own book, right? My first debut book, and it's all about finding your identity because I think sometimes we lose our voice along the way. We lose a sense of who we are, and it's really going back to like the basics of finding out where have I lost myself? Why was I so lively and full of joy as a child? But why, as I'm growing up, I found like so many things have lost my true identity. So I'm just excited about what you've shared. I'm going to check out the books as well. How about you, Marius?
For me, I'm not growing up. I'm not a reader. I don't think I read a lot of books. So with the social media, also not much. I think I Google more on DIY stuff online rather than literary reading. But growing up, I think the only book that impacted me the most and actually speak to my heart most growing up was by the author Andrew Matthews. So I enjoy. Too much words, I'll get very bored, and I find that it has to be something that I really want out from the book, then I'll go and read it. But if I find that if you just pick up a book and then I will just read, I won't do that. But unless someone tell me, hey, this is really good, this is very impactful, this speaks to me or something like that, to that person, okay, then I'll just read about it. And for me, I like Andrew Matthews because his book is not too wordy, and a lot of illustration was being drawn and all that. So I'm from the arts background, so that really draws me to read his book. So I find that having confidence, you need to build the confidence by really want to do it, rather than people telling you that, hey, you need to have some confidence in yourself. Words is very easily given, but really you need to understand whether how do you want to be a confident woman, how to be be a person to impact other people who believes in you, who wants to trust in you, and you need to be able to offer up the kind of same kind of treatment that you want from your friend. Like, okay, I want to trust this person that I'm speaking to. I want to love this person that I'm connecting with. So I also would like to have a two-way trust, that the person trusts me with their things that they share with me, and also love me for who I am.
Okay, so as we're coming to like the end of the section, right? Like, what is one quote or one verse that speaks to you or that you'll like live by?
I'll let Marius go first.
Okay, for me is something that I will tell myself, that do not do to others what you do not want them to do to you. So besides putting myself in the person's shoe, I also would like the person to put myself in their shoe as well. So more on empathy and how to really sink in together with each other. And for me, I find that able to reach out to people much easier if I put myself in their shoe. You know, but of course sometimes I will just forget about it. But you know but this is the quote that it has been with me growing up, and I also passed down to Gloria as well. So she also gets to see that, hey, I do not want to shortchange myself as well. Yeah. So yeah, this is the quote that I'll live by.
Nice. For me, it's not more of like a quote, but something I think over the years, I've kept telling myself that, you know, everyone we meet goes through a battle that we don't know of. They're all fighting something, you know, within themselves. So I think a little kindness goes a long way, no matter who we look at, who we talk to, who we meet, whether it's stranger or whether even if we meet our acquaintance or somebody we know, a good friend of ours, they may be going through something that they are not ready to share. And so we don't assume that everything is fine with them, but just to, like what Marius said, a little empathy goes a long way, a little kindness goes a long way, just to understand where they're coming from. And yeah, not everything evolves around, you know, you. The whole world doesn't evolve around you. There are other people around you, kind of thing. Yeah.
Thanks so much for the quotes, and as we are coming like to the end of the section, really want to like once again thank you all for your time. Thank you for doing this, and this is a little bit impromptu, but you know, usually I will end the show with like takeaways, like any takeaways that you have for the audience. But I think I do admire both of you, like from the bottom of my heart, for being such strong mothers, you know, setting an example, right? Because I think for women, for children growing up, when they see their mothers doing this, it's not only like, oh, my mom is quite cool, she's doing this, but it's also like, oh, she's strong, she is someone that, you know, she speaks her mind. She's not only doing it like at home, but she's brave enough to do it in front of everybody. She's brave enough to share her views. So I just want to like let you both take time just to maybe give a shout out to your daughters.
I'll let the 大姐 go first.
Thank you, Charlene.
She's like always arrowing.
No, because I'm the youngest, you know.
Yeah, me being the eldest, yes, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Okay, for me, I want to reach out to my two beautiful daughters, Gloria and Grace. Okay, I mean, being a woman is not easy. Okay, me as a mother is not easy. I know that there will definitely be struggles in everyone's life, especially yours. As you are growing up, every stage of your life is going to be different. There will be different people coming into your life, good and bad. But I think have the approach of appreciating the people that is in your life. They can be toxic. Learn how to remove that person out from your life. But if they are really good and they really encourage you, they speak to you, they love you for who you are, they take your nonsense, embrace it. You know, just be very grateful and thankful that the Lord sent people in our lives, whether you like it or not. You know, so but learn to be able to discern it and really understand how these people can bring or rather how you can bring the effort out from yourself as an inner self to the people that you meet, to be genuine to the people that you meet in your life. you know, not so much of what the person can benefit out from you, rather more on how you can benefit as yourself, as a woman, as a friend, as a sister, or buddy to the people that you meet in your life. Yeah, that's my take.
So now it's my turn.
Of course.
Okay, before I give a shout out to my two girls, I want to give a shout out to my mom. She is definitely the most strongest woman I know in my entire life. I've seen her go through so much growing up. We had a very rocky relationship when I was younger, but I think now we are the best of friends. She is the one person that I will just tell everything to. I mean, no holds bar. Literally everything I want. I'm upset, I'm sad, I'm happy, glad, angry. I'll just pour out to her. Shout out to my two girls, Kayla and Nicole. Mommy loves you very, very much, and I'm so proud to to see how much both of you have grown individually as a person, as girls. Both of you have different personalities and different characters. Sometimes it drives me crazy, but I still love you girls. Just know that, yeah, like, you have a long way to go. You have so many things to experience. You have so many people to meet. Just understand that, God is always on your side, and God is always looking out for you. Also know that I am always here, no matter what. Don't think that you can't tell me anything, although my face may show differently, but I'm always here to listen. Just one thing I wanna say. The reason why I'm doing this is, yes, to show my girls that, if you put your heart and mind, and if you just put aside your fears, you can achieve and do anything. I am not as vocal person like I would like to be, but as my oldest is growing up, I realized that if I were to shun away from opportunities, I would be showing her that there are a lot of things that she will not be able to do. So this is why I stepped up, and I've done a lot of different things with my life as a woman, as an individual. I told myself that I need to do a lot of different things to show my girls that there is nothing that they can't do. So I have to be an example.
Nice. Thanks so much, Charlene. I think your girls will be very, very proud of you. I'm super proud of both of you for stepping out, for doing this, and for just sharing your heart out. So thank you once again. And so we've come to the end of this special panel discussion, and just want to just hope that it just inspires mothers, especially out there who have daughters, like, to use this time, be an example to your daughters, be an influence, a good positive influence. Don't let social media educate them, and also, like, keep pouring into their life, and also affirm them. I think that's what parents lack these days. Like, as mothers, right, we don't affirm our own daughters. Like, I think in Asian culture, sometimes we believe, like, if our daughter is beautiful, we shouldn't keep telling them that they're beautiful all the time, because it will get to their heads. And I don't know who came up with such an illogical.
Superstitious, yeah,
I
superstitious.
don't know who came up with that, but I think it's so important, like, for daughters. Like, I'm a daughter. I mean, like, for my mom, like, when she sees me down, she says, "Oh, you look nice. I like how you dress up," or I like how you did your hair. I think it's so important, because our mothers play such an important role, and if we get that affirmation from them, right, we get secured. So it doesn't matter what other people say about us anymore, because we listen to the affirmation of our mothers and our parents in general. But I think for daughters, mothers play a very important role. So thanks once again for joining me on the Living Room channel, and I do hope that people who watch this, please like, subscribe, and share these videos to other mothers and other women out there, so we can empower them, we can help to build them up to be stronger. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks, Siobhan.
Thank you, Siobhan.
Thank you.